News around the world. Federal government arraigns 3 suspects over Orire abductions. President Tinubu signs executive order on virtual assets coordination. And on the foreign scene, 8 killed in US-Iran military strikes. Good evening, and thank you for joining us on News Around the World here on BCOS television. I am Idowu Shekoni. A sign language interpreter is Shakirat Ogundeji. The federal government has today charged 3 men over the kidnap of children and teachers in Orire local government area of Oyo State. Those arraigned were Abdul Razak Umar, Yunusa Musa, and Shamsu Sani. The 10-count charge filed before the Federal High Court, Abuja, borders on terrorism, kidnapping, concealment, incitement, and illegal mining. The defendants, all from Suleja local government area of Niger State, are alleged to have conspired with one Muhammad Sani, Jibril Muhammad, and Ibrahim Kabab between January and May 2026 to kidnap school children and teachers in Oyo State. They are further alleged to have aided the kidnap of the school children and teachers and to have concealed information regarding the identities and activities of the alleged masterminds despite knowledge of the plot. According to a security source, the suspects are expected to appear in court next week, having concluded their investigation, while others are still being probed as the agency is insistent on diligent investigation. Meanwhile, the Christian Council of Nigeria, CCN, Oyo State Chapter, has hailed Governor Seyi Makinde's appeal to the United Nations to investigate the recent abduction ordeal of school pupils and teachers in the Orire local government area of the state. This came at the end of the Council's general meeting held in Isheyin in the Okiogun area or zone of the state. A press release issued by chairman of the Christian Council, Bishop Ademola Moradeo, described Governor Makinde's call as consistent with the UN's global mandate to safeguard children and ensure accountability in cases of mass abduction. The release noted that the United Nations has previously supported investigations into similar incidents, such as the Chibok schoolgirls abduction in 2014 and the Dapchi schoolgirls abduction in 2018. The Oyo State Chapter of the Christian Council of Nigeria therefore supported Governor Makinde's call, adding that a transparent, impartial inquiry will restore public confidence, deliver justice to victims and their families, and strengthen the collective resolve to protect citizens. The Council further assured the affected families of its continued prayers and moral support, while urging citizens to maintain vigilant and cooperate with security agencies by reporting suspicious activities to the appropriate authorities. In the meantime, in continuation of appreciating the Almighty Creator over the safe return of victims of the May 15 abduction in Orire local government area of Oyo State, special interfaith prayers were held on Friday at the Palace of Esiele, one of the affected communities. The prayers were led by both Christian and Islamic leaders. BCOS correspondent in Ogumosho, Adiremi Akomu, was at the palace during the prayers. His report is presented by Tola Teriba.
Of a CLA community in Orire local government area of Oyo State on Friday gathered at the palace of the town to organize special interfaith prayers. The prayers were intended to appreciate God for securing a school principal, 4 teachers and 39 school children abducted during the deadly attack on 3 schools in the Orire local government area of Oyo State on May 15, 2026. The prayers provided avenues for religious leaders like Pastor Kola Oladokun, Pastor Peter Olayemi, Prophet Michael Adebayo, Imam Abdulwahid Hamid, Sheikh Gani Majiobaje, Alfa Razak Oyelakin, among others, to raise voices of thank you to Almighty God for his intervention during the period of sorrow. They also sought divine intervention to prevent the occurrence of such gory incidents. Pastor Kola Oladokun and Prophet Michael Adebayo said, God has worked wonders through the release of abductees of the May 15 attack, calling on the faithful to serve God wholeheartedly.
Adúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run nítorí pé ìpéjọpọ̀ wa ìyá wa fi dúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run ni. Nítorí pé Ọlọ́run dáhùn àdúrà wa, kì í ṣagbára wa. Bó ti jẹ́ pé ní gbogbo àgbáyé ni àwọn èèyàn ti dìde tí wọ́n ti bá wa gbàdúrà. Ṣùgbọ́n a lè sùn a lè wo títí dijọ́ táwọn ọmọ èèyàn dé. Ṣé ẹ rí i pé ẹnu ọ̀rọ̀ wa tọ́.
Ọlọ́run yẹn dára sí wa. Ó dára kìkìdá wípé ká sìn, ká yìn, ká gbé ìgbé ayé wa. Nínú ohun gbogbo tábà máa ṣe ká máa rí gẹ́gẹ́ bí àkọ́kọ́ nínú ohun gbogbo. Àdúrà mi ni wípé nísinsìnyí tàbí lọ́jọ́ iwájú lágbègbè yìí ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ní Ọ̀yọ́ State àtúnnérí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ìmọ̀ lórúkọ yìí.
Special prayers were offered for divine protection of residents of the area, Ogbomoso and Oyo State in general. In a similar development, Islamic leaders and faithful organized special prayers to appreciate Almighty Allah as the abducted person survived the traumatic period experienced for 56 days in captivity. The Quran was recited during the special prayer led by the chief imam of Esiele, Imam Abdulwahid Hamid, and Sheikh Gani Majiobaje. In their separate interviews with BCOS News, Imam Abdulwahid Hamid and Alfa Razak Oyelakin said, Almighty Allah supersedes all, commending all supportive hands in securing the release of the abductees.
Dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run àti dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n dìde nígbà tí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ yìí ṣẹlẹ̀. Ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti federal to district to the local government. Tóbi dé nùlú àtàwọn ọba lọ́ba, àwọn ìjòyè àtàwọn èèyàn náà tí Ọlọ́run kàyẹ nínú ayé tí wọ́n dìde sí wa. Àwọn kó àwọn ọmọ wa lọ láàyè. Ọlọ́run ti sọ pé ká tún lé wọn láàyè padà náà ní ọjọ́ ìjẹjọ.
Ìgbénùlú sọlásọlá ó ń bẹnu kí ètò ààbò pé dáadáa. Ó sì kọ́ra jajaja torí pé sùkúù wa afẹ́ kó dúró padà kó tètè dúró torí ìbẹ̀rù ń bẹ lọ́kàn àwọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn òbí àtàwọn ọmọ.
They also sought for the structuring of the education system in the area to aid the education of children. Offering special prayers for the slain teachers and security operatives, Imam Koso of Oyo, Imam Mustafa Najimdeen maintained that everything is best known to Allah, praying to God to give the bereaved families the fortitude to bear the loss. The LSCLA of Esiele, Oba Tajuddin Abioye, and his counterparts in Esiele Oyo, Oba David Oladele, who were optimistic as the rescued abductees reunited with their families, said the session was to appreciate God over the release of the abductees. The prayer session was rounded off with special Jumat service at the Central Mosque Esiele, where Imam Abdulwahid Hamid led the 2 Raka prayer.
The Oyo State Head of Service, Dr. Adenike Fashino, has reaffirmed the commitment of the state government to the welfare and well-being of retired executive secretaries and general managers in the state. Dr. Fashino gave the assurance while receiving members of the Association of Retired Executive Secretaries and General Managers who paid her a courtesy and congratulatory visit at her office. Details are presented by Governor's Office correspondent Olaliko Sulaiman.
Members of the Association of Retired Executive Secretaries and General Managers, led by the Vice Chairman of the Association, Mr. Dotun Omakemi, on Friday, paid a courtesy visit to the newly appointed Oyo State Head of Service, Dr. Adenike Fashino, in her office at the State Secretariat, Agodi, Ibadan. Welcoming the delegation, Dr. Fashino expressed appreciation for the visit and congratulatory message. She assured the retirees that the Oyo State government remains committed to the welfare of its retired senior officers and acknowledged the request presented by the association. The head of service pledged to give the issue raised the necessary attention through appropriate government channels stressing that government is a continuum. She also reaffirmed her commitment to fairness, equity, and justice in addressing matters affecting retired executive secretaries and general managers.
On your request, sir, let me just say I've noted it. What is good for the goose should also be good for the gander. We have all contributed our quota and we are still contributing, paying our dues, washing over our bits. But the one that has been committed onto your hands, you have done it diligently. You have delivered. I think you are worthy of whatever is good and that is attached to the office. It won't give up easily, even though it looks bleak, but we should still have apply faith. I want to learn our peers, not they call them to come and pick their vehicles.
Earlier, the vice chairman of the association, Mr. Dr. Makemi, described Dr. Fashion's appointment as a round peg in a round hole, saying her wealth of experience and professionalism made her well suited for the office. Mr. Makemi pledged the continued support and cooperation of the association to the head of service and the Oyo State government. He also appealed to Dr. Fashion to present the association's pending welfare request to the appropriate authorities for favorable consideration.
You're known for equity, fairness, and justice. So whatever that God can use you, so that indeed that we'll see ourselves also as an accounting officers. So as it has been done for our colleagues, whatever you can do. We have written a letter to that effect to the office of the secretary to the state government. So, and we've been looking forward that one day, maybe like a call will come from your office and say, come and pick your own vehicles.
Special prayers were later offered for divine wisdom, strength, and successful tenure for Dr. Fashino as the head of service. Among members of the association on the courtesy visit were 3 former general managers of the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State, BCOS, Mr. Kunle Junaid, Mr. Goke Adelakun, and Mr. Tunde Ajayi. Others included Princess Olaide Ladipo, Mrs. Adenike Okwade, Comrade Emmanuel Ogundiran, Mr. Boyega Makinde, and Mrs. Nancy Muraino. Olalekan Sulaiman, BCOS News.
You're watching news around the world on BCOS television. We have a short commercial break. Please stay tuned.
If you feel the body, you will pray for me. I'm not gonna move her body dangerously. You didn't make my heart go, body and soul. I still they go, I still they go.
Excuse me, ma. This is your 100% year.
Babes, are you sure you want to spend this much on hair? Didn't your landlord just increase rent? I saved for this one separately on money points.
Ma, you say you save on money points?
Yes.
This madam money points here. The array of hair dryer there is target savings money points I used to have it. The rest of this my sub is fees savings money points I used to do it. The salary of this my staff is save as you transact, son.
Jennifer, money point save as you transact. Money point fixed savings and money point target savings.
What's up? Why can't someone who contribute to you? Why should they? Come on, oh, you go give your money to Hadaku to save. You see money point accounts there. You know go open a savings account. Now Hadaku you shoot. I beg everybody inside this my saloon. Oh yeah, bring out your phone and download the money point hack now. Even you. What are you waiting for? Download the money point hack now. Hadaku, wow, open money point account.
Money point made for your progress.
Our bodies get serums, washes, lotions, cleansers, scrubs, but underarms only get deodorant? That's why our new breakthrough formula contains pure hyaluron and vitamin C to deeply care for your underarms for a softer and even skin tone in 2 weeks. With 72 hours sweat and odor protection, try the new Nivea Derma Control Natural Tone because your underarms deserve more. Nivea is for skin.
Welcome back. President Bola Tinubu has signed a presidential executive order on virtual assets coordination 2026, establishing a new interagency framework to harmonize the regulation of virtual assets and strengthen oversight of Nigeria's rapidly expanding digital economy. According to a statement issued today by the President's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, the order was signed pursuant to Section 5 of the 1999 Constitution to address growing regulatory fragmentation. The executive order, which takes immediate effect, creates a virtual asset council to coordinate the activities of key financial, revenue, security, and regulatory agencies. The presidency said the absence of coordinated oversight had created loopholes exploited by fraudulent and unregistered operators, exposing Nigerians to financial losses, cybersecurity threats, data privacy risks, and other criminal activities. The statement explained that the move was aimed at protecting citizens from fraud while combating money laundering and terrorism financing, improving revenue collection, and encouraging responsible innovation in the virtual assets sector. The federal government says it is intensifying efforts to promote freer movement across Africa to boost trade, investment, and African Continental Free Trade Area implementation, AFCFTA. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, said this today in Abuja during an interview with journalists. Dr. Oduwole spoke on the outcome of the Biashara Africa 2026 forum held recently in Togo. The minister said trade could not thrive where entrepreneurs and investors faced movement restrictions, adding that easier movement of people, goods, and investments remain crucial to unlocking opportunities under the AFCFTA. According to her, mobility remains critical to the success of the AFCFTA, adding that Nigeria joined all the African countries in reaffirming commitment to free movement of people, services, and investments. Political stakeholders have been urged to uphold democratic principles by allowing eligible individuals to freely contest elective positions and participate in the electoral process without intimidation or undue interference. The call was made by legal practitioners Adebimpe Adelowo Esquire and Sharafaddin Sani Esquire during a discussion on the topic INEC nomination portal closure 2027 tickets sealed on BCOS Current Affairs Breakfast Program AM 120. Our reporter Fedora Afolagboye monitored the program and now brings the details.
With the closure of the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC nomination portal for the 2027 general elections, attention is shifting to candidates' eligibility, political party compliance with electoral guidelines, and preparations for the next phase of the electoral process. Speaking on BCOS Current Affairs Breakfast Program, AM 120, legal practitioner Adebimpe Adelowo Esquire explained that the Electoral Act empowers INEC to determine its electoral timetable and operational guidelines, stressing that all political parties and aspirants must comply with the stipulated deadlines. He noted that internal disputes in some political parties delayed the emergence of candidates, adding that several nomination-related cases are already before the courts.
Every society, every process must have a timeline. If you close a particular process because that is as it is allowed by law, it shows that then you are improving the system.
I'm asking that because of how
the rightful candidate has not been uploaded. Definitely, that portal has to be opened by court's order for the rightful candidate to be uploaded. It shows that there are windows for political party to explore. But those political parties that were unable to upload their candidate, then it's final for them, except court, they approach court and court say otherwise.
Also speaking, legal practitioner Sharafaddin Sani Esquire urged politicians to allow INEC to discharge its constitutional responsibilities without undue interference and avoid frivolous litigation capable of disrupting the electoral process. He commended the media for sustaining voter education, particularly at the grassroots, and called for intensified public enlightenment ahead of the 2027 general elections.
You will discover that we have analyzed the problem they are currently facing now. Every one of them are conscious of holding on to power. I later discovered that they are not concerned about Nigerian interests. They are not concerned about the interests of you and I. Ask them what is the main problem. It is just the power distribution.
The guests also urged INEC to remain impartial and strictly comply with the provisions of the Electoral Act, while encouraging Nigerians to participate actively in the democratic process, vote responsibly, and reject vote buying and other forms of electoral malpractice. Fedora Afolagwe, BCOS News.
We are due for another timeout. Please don't go anywhere.
Alert! Today's car just pulled in.
What is new? Wonderful.
How about now?
Ah, see these jokers. So you want hide better thing from your uncle?
New Pure Bliss Gold, now in 3 delicious flavors for your delightful indulgence.
Pure Bliss Gold, no they have.
Glad to know you're still there. Broadcast media practitioners have been urged to recognize the enormous influence of their profession in shaping public perception and strengthening national security by embracing responsible, ethical, and conflict-sensitive journalism. The call was made at the 2026 Southwest Broadcast Summit and induction of new members into the Society of Nigerian Broadcasters held in Ibadan with the theme Public Policy, Mass Media and Conflict-Sensitive Broadcasting, Strengthening Media Government Synergy for National Security. Our reporter, Folashade Akintola, completes the story.
Broadcast professionals, media regulators, government officials, and communication experts converge on Ibadan for the Southwest Broadcast Summit to deliberate on the media's role in promoting national unity, democratic governance, and sustainable peace. Delivering a keynote lecture titled Public Policy, Mass Media and Conflict-Sensitive Broadcasting, Strengthening Media Government Synergy for National Security, former Secretary to the Oyo State Government and former Head of Service, Chief Adebisi Adesola, described broadcasters as custodians of public trust, whose reports have the capacity to either foster stability or fuel conflict. Chief Adesola stressed that national security is sustained not only through military strength, but also by public confidence, credible communications, and responsible journalism. He urged media organizations to place public interest above commercial considerations by strengthening fact-checking, safeguarding editorial independence, resisting undue political influence, and upholding ethical standards that promote peace, accountability, and democratic resilience.
What do you do, therefore, as a journalist? You must therefore distinguish between information that serves public understanding and information that may endanger lives or compromise operations. A broadcaster who scrutinizes without educating becomes a cynic. A broadcaster who mediates without truth becomes a diplomat of illusion. The best broadcaster, therefore, combines all these three together.
Chairman of the occasion, Prince Ade Adekombi, said the rapid evolving media landscape demands broadcasters who are digitally competent, professionalism grounded, and unwavering in their commitment to truth and accuracy. He noted that the Society of Nigeria Broadcasters was established to promote professionalism, encourage continuous capacity development, and uphold ethical broadcasting standard across the country.
We are fought.
You will no longer be able
to get where we are now. We should ensure
to switch off
that
analog.
we
If Galaxy that are transmitting here on analog will be told to
make
shut down
everything
transmission.
possible
And
that will
many
make
of them are already doing when transmitter
for
get back.
professionals
Many
in
stations
broadcasting
already
in
have shut down
Nigeria. That should
operations
be our
because
stand.
In separate goodwill messages, stakeholders charge broadcasters to remain balanced, factual, and conflict-sensitive in their reportage, noting that the growing threat of misinformation, disinformation, artificial intelligence, and deepfake require stronger editorial gatekeeping and rigorous fact-checking. They maintain that responsible broadcasting remains indispensable to national security and public trust.
I want to congratulate the Society of Nigeria Broadcasters for this achievement, the successful hosting of the Southwest broadcasters here in Ibadan, the capital city of Oyo State.
Every program, news bulletin, talk show, free, and live transmission has the potential to either promote national unity or deepen existing divisions. This enormous influence demands an equally high level of professional responsibility by practitioners.
Highlights of the summit include the induction of eligible broadcaster practitioners into the Society of Nigeria's Broadcaster, presentation of certificates to new members, and the conferment of award on distinguished personality for their outstanding contributions to broadcasting and national development. The event attracted media executives, broadcast professionals, officials of national broadcasting commissions, members of the broadcasting organizations of Nigeria, academics and communication experts from across the Southwest. Folashade Akintola, BCOS News.
Access to justice is a fundamental right, yet for many residents of rural communities, timely legal assistance and dispute resolution remain a challenge. Justices of the peace, however, are helping to bridge this gap by promoting peace, resolving minor disputes, and bringing justice closer to the grassroots. In this report, Oyeshile Oiloyede examines the role of the Justices of the Peace in strengthening peace building, conflict resolution, and access to justice in rural communities.
Justices of the peace are men and women of proven integrity, appointed by the state government through the Ministry of Justice to serve as community representatives in promoting justice, fairness, and peaceful coexistence. Speaking with BCOS News, a Justice of the Peace and Peace Ambassador, Ambassador Rachel Oyedemi, explained that the appointment is not merely honorary, but carries the responsibility of safeguarding citizens' rights, promoting equity, and resolving minor disputes within communities. According to her, Justices of the Peace regularly mediate family, market, and neighborhood disputes, intervene in emerging conflicts, and encourage amicable settlements before disagreement generates into violence.
Justice of the Peace, when we talk of them, they are to promote and protect the rights of the individuals around them or wherever they find themselves. It may be in the marketplace, it may be wherever, in the hospital, in the schools, in any community, a person that acts with equity and fairness, because that is what the government wants. The JP is conferred with quasi-judicial powers to deal with and address minor issues and small claims in the or within the community.
Also speaking, another Justice of the Peace, Pastor Tunde Ajayi, explained that although JPs are not magistrates, they are legally empowered to perform certain official duties and intervene in situations capable of disrupting public peace before referring such matters to the appropriate authorities. He noted that their intervention improves access to justice by helping community members resolve disputes quickly and amicably, thereby reducing the cost and delays associated with litigation. Cases beyond their jurisdiction, he added, are referred to the court or other relevant agencies.
The law recognizes justices of the peace in Nigeria, particularly in Oyo State,
the law recognizes their existence. They are also entitled to sign certain documents. Take, for example, some affidavits. They can sign them as well. They have their stamps. They also have the power to arrest. If there is a fracas, for example, and people are, that will eventually lead to the disturbance of the peace of the society. If somebody or people are fighting over a parcel of land, for example, and they can't agree, they can move the matter to the JP. He will call both sides or whatever the parties are, then talk to them, try to see how he can resolve such a dispute.
While acknowledging the public awareness of the institution is still limited, the justices of the peace urge Nigerians to make use of their services whenever necessary. While acknowledging that public awareness of the institution is still limited, the justices of the peace urge Nigerians to make use of their services whenever necessary. They also want members of the public to be wary of impostors who falsely claim to be justices of the peace for personal financial gain. Stakeholders believe that increased public awareness and greater support for the activities of justices of the peace will strengthen grassroots justice delivery, reduce community conflict, and foster lasting peace, particularly in rural communities. Oyeshile Oloyede, BCOS News.
Stakeholders in the education sector are advocating increased investment in technical and vocational education as a sustainable solution to unemployment, poverty, and skills shortages in the country. They say strengthening technical colleges will equip more young Nigerians with practical skills needed for self-employment, entrepreneurship, and industrial development. Awao Ibrahim reports.
Technical and vocational education is increasingly being recognized as a vital tool for national development, with experts emphasizing its role in producing a skilled workforce capable of meeting the demand of a rapidly changing economy. They note that by equipping young people with practical and employable skills, technical colleges help promote self-reliance, reduce unemployment, and create opportunity for entrepreneurship. Speaking with BCOS News, Director of the Polytechnic Ibadan, Dr. Taiwo Lasisi, reaffirmed the institution's commitment to producing graduates with the technical competence and hands-on experience required to compete in today's global economy. He explained that the adoption of technical and vocational education and training, TVET, across Nigeria polytechnics is transforming education from predominantly theoretical approach to practical, industry-driven learning that responds to labor market needs.
The impact is to make sure that graduates from polytechnics are well grounded, both intellectually, economically, and socially, for the development of the nation, and to be able to compete favorably in the world over. All polytechnics in Nigeria have embraced the policy of TVET to make sure that this nation develops.
Also speaking, the chairman of the Oyo State Board for Technical and Vocational Education, BOTAVED, Eda Ayoade Adekola, described technical education as a strategic pathway to job creation and economic empowerment. He noted that individuals who acquire technical skills are better positioned to become employers of labor rather than depend solely on scarce white-collar jobs. Eda Adekola, however, identified negative public perception as a major obstacle to the growth of technical colleges. He said many parents still believe technical colleges are meant only for academically weak students, a misconception that has continued to discourage enrollment despite the growing demand for skilled professionals.
Technical education empowers an individual that has it to be self-sufficient, to be self-sustaining, and to be able to stand on their own. Anybody with in-depth knowledge of technical education will not rely on government for employment. That person will not be looking for white-collar job in offices. That person will be an employer of labor, himself or herself.
Stakeholder therefore called for increased funding, improved learning facility, modern equipment, stronger collaboration between educational institutions and industries, as well as sustained public enlightenment to reposition technical and vocational education as a preferred pathway to employment, innovation, and sustainable national development. Awau Ibrahim, BCOS News.
You're still watching news around the world on BCOS television. We have yet another commercial break. When we return, it will be time for the sports segment of the news. Please don't go away.
Excuse me, ma. This is your 100% year.
Babes, are you sure you want to spend this much on hair? Didn't your landlord just increase rent? I saved for this one separately on money points.
Ma, you say you save on money points?
Yes.
This madam money points here, the array of Yadrea there is target savings money points I used to have it. The rest of this my sub is this savings money points I used to do it. The salary of this my staff is save as you transact, son.
Jennifer, money point save as you transact. Money point fixed savings and money point target savings.
What's up? Why did someone who contribute to it? Where should they? Come on, oh, you go give your money to Hadaku to save. You see money point accounts there. You know, go open a savings account. Now Hadaku you shoot. I beg everybody inside this my saloon. Oh, yeah, bring out your phone and download the money points hack now. Even you. What are you waiting for? Download the money points hack now. Hadaku, wow, open money points account.
Money point made for your progress.
My skin is my identity, my strength. It's unique and deserves care made specially for me. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care with 5 oils and 5 vitamins. 48-hour nourishment. Helps reduce appearance of stretch marks in just 2 weeks. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care for your shade of beautiful.
Segment of the evening news. My name is Toby Ajowale.
The National Sports Commission (NSC) has introduced one of its most generous welfare packages yet to boost Team Nigeria's prospect at the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. Athletes will receive $200 per day during the games, while coaches get $250 daily, up from $150 and $200 respectively at the Birmingham 2022 games. Medal rewards have also been significantly increased: $3,000 for gold, $2,000 for silver, and $1,000 for bronze, with additional bonuses for coaches. The federal government will pay further performance bonuses directly into the athletes' accounts, as $5,000 for gold, $3,000 for silver, and $2,000 for bronze, meaning a gold medalist could earn up to $8,000 in total. Additional support include 500,000 naira per athlete and officials for transportation and return flights, plus raised local camping allowances of 5,000 naira daily for athletes and 7,500 naira for officials. Most payments have already been processed, with remaining delays being resolved. And in other sport news, the Oyo State government has approved an initial 200 million naira takeoff grant to support Shooting Star Sport Club of Ibadan 3SC as the club chases its first continental title in 27 years. Club chairman Honorable Taiwo Lekan Salami confirmed the approval. And in women's football, Super Falcons defender Oluwatosin Demehi has spoken of the huge confidence boost from winning the Women African Cup of Nations WAFCON at her first attempt, declaring she is motivated to help the team defend their title in Morocco. The Galatasaray star, a defensive pillar since 2023 World Cup, expects a tougher tournament with the expansion to 16 teams, but remains confident in the squad's quality. Meanwhile, AS Roma forward Omorisola Babajide arrived in the Super Falcons camp in Casablanca on Thursday evening, joining Tony Payne from Inter Milan as the latest additions. The squad now stands at 12 players. And from the foreign scene, FIFA will present special World Cup winners' rings to the champions of Sunday's final between Argentina and Spain at the MetLife Stadium. The rings, a tradition borrowed from American sport like the Super Bowl, will feature a mini World Cup trophy design. 30 rings will go to the winning team, with 1,996 more available for fans. U.S. President Donald Trump is expected to attend the final and present the trophy, his first appearance at the tournament. A weather warning for poor air quality in New York due to Canadian wildfires has been issued, but no impact is expected on the match. Finally, in Sport News tonight, West Ham United captain Jared Bowen has decided to stay with the club as they prepare for life in the Championship following relegation from the Premier League. 29-year-old England international, who has made 280 appearances, scored 85 goals since joining from Hull City in 2020, started every league game last season, and famously scored the dramatic winner in the 2023 UEFA Conference League final. Bowen has committed to the club for the 2026-2027 season with his current contract running until 2030. His decision provides a major boost for the Hammers ahead of their first championship campaign since 2011-2012 season.
My name is Toby Ajwali.
Thanks, Toby. On the foreign scene, the United States and Iran continue to exchange military strikes, intensifying fears of a broader Middle East conflict after fresh U.S. attacks killed at least 8 people and triggered retaliatory actions across the Gulf. Foreign desk editor Folashade Akintola compiled the story and others as presented by Bimbo Akombi.
Officials in the southern Iranian city of Bandar Abbas said the latest strikes damaged civilian infrastructure, including power facilities and a railway station, raising concerns over the growing humanitarian impact of the fighting.
I don't like giving deadlines, but they pretty much know the story. Sorry, they better behave.
Iran's military claimed it retaliated by targeting U.S. aircraft stationed at a military base in Bahrain. Meanwhile, Kuwait's armed forces said they were responding to missile and drone attacks linked to the ongoing conflict. In Qatar, authorities reported that a child was injured after falling missiles debris struck the ground, despite the country's air defense systems successfully intercepting incoming Iranian missiles. The latest developments have heightened fears of a wider regional conflict involving Gulf nations hosting U.S. military installations. Adding to the tension, an Iranian military spokesperson declared that the strategic Strait of Hormuz will never return to its pre-war status, signaling possible long-term disruption to one of the world's busiest oil shipping routes. In the meantime, 2 people have been killed following a Russian drone attack on port infrastructures in the southern Ukrainian city of Mykolaiv, Ukrainian regional prosecutors have said. According to the authorities, the overnight strike targeted the city's port facilities, damaging 3 civilian vessels flying foreign flags. Prosecutors said 2 Ukrainian citizens who were on board one of the foreign vessels were killed in the attack. The latest assault is part of continued Russian strikes on Ukraine's port infrastructure, a development that has raised concerns over maritime security and the safety of commercial shipping in the Black Sea region. Ukrainian officials are assessing the full extent of the damage, while no immediate response has been issued by Russian authorities regarding the reported attack. The conflict between Russia and Ukraine, now in its 4th year, continues to inflict heavy casualties and disrupt critical infrastructure, despite ongoing international calls for a peaceful resolution. At least 2 people have died after violent thunderstorms swept across France overnight, ending a prolonged heat wave and leaving more than 53,000 households without electricity, French authorities have said. One of the victims, a woman, was killed in Saint-Victorien in the central Haute-Vienne department after a tree fell on her during the storm, according to the town's mayor, confirming an earlier report by AFP. In a separate incident, a man was found dead in a workshop in Dolomieu, eastern France, after the building caught fire when it was struck by lightning, the Isère prefecture said. The severe weather brought strong winds and hail to several parts of the country, causing widespread damage and disrupting electricity supply. French electricity grid operator Enedis said approximately 53,000 homes remained without power, with the worst affected areas being the Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes region in southeastern France and Nouveau-Cotentin in the southwest. Bimbo Akombi, BCOS News.
To end the news around the world, here again are the top stories. The federal government has today charged 3 men over the kidnap of children and teachers in Orire local government area of Oyo State. President Bola Tinubu has signed the Presidential Executive Order on Virtual Assets Coordination 2026, establishing a new interagency framework to harmonize the regulation of virtual assets and strengthen oversight of Nigeria's rapidly expanding digital economy. On the foreign scene, the United States and Iran continue to exchange military strikes, intensifying fears of a broader Middle East conflict after fresh U.S. attacks killed at least 8 people and triggered retaliatory actions across the Gulf. BCOS TV is now on Niger TV app, and you can watch us from any part of the world. The BCOS website is also live. Kindly visit it at www.bcostv.com. Alternatively, you can watch us on GoTV channel 134 and on StarTimes channel 113. Now, before I go, if you see something suspicious, alert the authorities for timely response. Be vigilant. That's the news around the world. On behalf of the team here, I am Ido Shekoni saying thank you for watching. Good night.
Family can go 1 week without drama. 1 week, one wahala. Mama, brother, papa, sister, before. Any beef supposed to stay inside bottle.
Maggi Star is crafted from fermented soybeans, onions, chili flavor, and cloves in a way only Maggi knows.
Okay, now my Maggi make it right. Come with piece of peace. Oh no, come at all, oh, before, Maggi, oh,
Maggi Star, making every meal special and special moments unforgettable.
Maggi, oh, love, me and Maggi so good together. Me and Maggi so good together.
Everything just dey go up. No good news for TV or radio again.
Now wow. Even the generator where you dey use watch the TV sef go soon quench.